Oh, what could I put this focuses on? I don't have enough light going on in here to focus this on something interesting while I'm talking. So maybe I will change that real fast. Because I know it's boring to just listen to somebody talk. And mostly I'm not making these videos because I want to be heard by anybody. I'm not expecting to be heard in a world full of indifferent people where people who care about the world are farly outnumbered by assholes who could care less. There we go. There's more light for you. So, let's see. I'll just rest this right. Let's see. I'll put it right wherever my phone will sit. It'll sit here, cool. If not, well, whatever. Okay. Well, hopefully that's interesting enough for you guys. I make these videos, well, I'm making my videos for a couple of reasons. One being, I think that this is a very fascinating time in history, and I do believe if something were to happen to a large majority of the population and we were to be wiped out as a consequence of all our apathy, which is a strong likelihood, I think that oral testimony of what's happening during this time is priceless. I think if any of our videos can survive the next 100 years somehow, whether out in cyberspace or somehow self-contained on somebody's personal files or networks in a way that the world will find later on, I think that we are all like the Anne Franks of the 20th century, anybody who's speaking out right now. And number two, if the NSA really is as big and scary as they make themselves out to be, and the Rasputins of our government are going to come get all the people who dare to speak out, well then, I want to make my head getting chopped off worth it. So therefore, I'm going to speak as much as I can, or as often as I want to, until that day comes. And third, well, simply because, not for a lack of trying, I've somehow created a life for myself where I have very, very, very few, if not non-existent, numbers of people around me who feel and think like I do, and I don't think all my thoughts are that genius or that original or that great, but I do think they matter simply because they're based on love and unconditional love. And I do know that if you go for long periods of time, having no friends who are awake, you yourself can eventually over time forget or slowly fade and recede back into that old way of thinking where thinking doesn't happen, doesn't take place. It is substituted with automated, programmed, daily, habitual routines that sustain self-existence. That's it. And also, have you guys ever wondered why? I mean, why people who are able to see the truth are so few and far between? Does it have to do with, to me, I think it has to do with creativity and courageousness. And courageousness is not fearlessness. I have plenty of things that I find frightening. But courageousness comes from seeing fact that, frightened or not, you have to go on. You have to live for purpose. You have to find meaning in life. And often the meaning entails facing your fears, or being willing to face them, or seeing the fact that there is no choice in facing them. Some fears are so big that they're never going to go away, and you're never going to get to face them unless they're actually lived one day. And when that moment comes, you just have to live through it, no matter whether you like it or not. I'm sure all the people who were ever kidnapped in this world and frightened and scared out of their minds as they're being abducted or as terrible things are happening to them, I'm sure all of them were scared. I'm sure I'd be scared too. But hold on a second. But here's where the magic comes in. If you can be willing to face your fears and continue pressing on to be who you are, especially if you're a creative person, be willing to give anything. Be willing to be out of your mind to preserve that creativity, because it is the last remaining shred of hope we human beings have of correcting things. We really are fucking this place up, and we ourselves may not be fucking this place up, but we really are letting other people fuck it up. This is our planet. This is our home. And maybe nothing in life even matters. Maybe none of this even matters. Maybe this is all a dream. Maybe this really is just, a test. Maybe this is really not as serious or as die-hard as it appears and feels to be. But regardless, if it's a test, we're failing it. I don't see how I could have been as creative as I've been throughout my life if there truly wasn't a meaning or purpose behind it, because all of it was purpose and meaning driven. So, but if we're all turning our backs for our problems in an effort towards self-preservation, then we're really being ignorant, because turning our backs to problems that'll eventually devour us whole is not a very intelligent way of preserving oneself. Being aware of all things considered and taking intelligent steps to self-defense and self-preservation would normally include not doing anything that's going to annihilate our ability to live on this planet. It's actually pretty comical. I either have to take it super seriously or I just have to laugh. And at the end of the day, every day I just have to be creative. You want to see this? I'm going to show you guys this silly stuff I make. See this? That's a pretty silly picture, right? That's never going to hang in a museum. I don't expect it to.